Well, good morning, everyone. This is Mark with Wear Parts, and with me I've got Eric Derry from our inside sales customer team. And today we're going to talk about Coulter knives, Fertilizer Coulter knives. So these are knives that are running behind a Coulter, Fertilizer Coulter. And on that we run a 20-inch notch Coulter, a 20-inch smooth Coulter, a 20-inch fluted Coulter with a fluted edge, and a 20-inch fluted Coulter with a smooth edge. And then there's some other options too. I think we have a 24-inch smooth Coulter as well. So these particular knives run behind those Coulters in a fertilizer application. Eric, why don't you just go ahead and tell us, here's the very basic starter knife, I would say.
Sure, this is a KFR 30 series. It's a 12-13-inch knife. Again, running right behind that Coulter that's going to be sitting right here. So you have the Coulter opening up the ground. Knife is basically there to be a vehicle for the fertilizer to get down into the ground. This one has a sharpened front edge to minimize the amount of soil disturbance you have through there. Works really nice for a side dress knife. Works good for a grass knife if you're putting fertilizer into grass ground where you're not having to run very deep. And of course, again, with the Coulter units.
That's good. And so it's a 3/8 inch forging, actually, to where you can see where it's to a point here, but it's widening out to about 3/4 of an inch here. So that's done by forging. So you've got your heat treated boron steel forging for a knife there.
Yeah, and you can also see here this does have a tube splitter on the back.
Okay.
To take that stream and be able to divert it two different ways.
Gotcha.
So that it doesn't just, and also protect that to keep that from plugging.
Gotcha. So that's your basic Coulter knife, and then we get into the same knife here, and it has the hard facing, the cold metal transfer hard facing here. Tell us a little bit about that, Eric, what that does and the benefits it gives to the farmer.
Cold metal transfer hard facing is going to extend the life of your knife usually 2 to 3 times,
okay,
if not more. It doesn't change the profile of the knife, but what it does, it keeps that edge alive for an extended period of time. Still have the same features with the splitter, still the same 3/8 tube, still a very narrow knife, but you have that extended wear with that hard facing down the front and also across the bottom here.
And one of the advantages of the cold metal transfer is, as that hard facing is being done, the temperature that the base material and the hard facing gets to is in 400 to 500 degrees. So with your standard hard facing methods, whether it's oxy fuel or your standard CV welders, you're up over 1200 degrees. So what that where the advantages for that is, it doesn't, the cold metal transfer doesn't pull the temper out of your base material, and then it also doesn't deteriorate the qualities of your hard facing material going on. So end of story, longer wear, lower cost per acre. So that's your Fertilizer Coulter knife with hard facing on it. Tell us about this one, Eric.
Okay, this is for a different type of, same application, but depending on what type of fertilizer rig that you're using, this is basically for the 1/2 inch hose. So lower pressure that using the 1/2 inch hose for. So have all the same features. We do compress that tube so that it still stays tucked in behind that knife, so you're not getting excessive wear on that tube.
On the
also.
tube, because it's a 3/8 tube, or sorry, 3/8 knife,
right,
with a 1/2 inch tube behind it. Okay.
Right, so you have to
Squeeze
that down a little bit and make sure that that opening is still lined up with your splitter.
Gotcha. And so what type of fertilizers would you use for a 1/2 inch tube?
That's going to be more of a liquid style, I would say.
Gotcha. So that's that knife, and then we move on here's the same knife on the front side. Eric, what's different about this knife on the back side?
Well, on this one we have, instead of having no tube protector like these others, we've got a dual tube here, so we have to put some protection on there. We had an AR 400 side plate on both sides to protect those tubes, especially the one that's farther back. And then you can use this for a dual rate application or a dual application if you're doing both anhydrous and liquid.
Liquid, got you, okay. And then we come to this knife here, and this knife again is the Fertilizer Coulter knife, same depth here, but what's special about this one is this whole front bit here is a high chrome insert with your 28% chrome, and what this gives you is just much longer wear in drier conditions. But again, and then it's got the high chrome tube protector back here, just protecting the tube from wearing out. But standard 3/8 tube there, and this is your 3/8 thick heat treated boron steel shank with a high chrome nose on it.
And again, we do have the splitter built into the back, so that and all to split the anhydrous, the liquid, right down both sides, and also to protect that tube from getting plugged.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Killer. And then one more Fertilizer Coulter knife. This one is a 15-inch instead of the 13-inch, and it's still 3/8 of an inch thick, from what I can see. Eric, tell us about that one there.
Yeah, this is a larger narrow profile knife, so it has the narrow profile. It's got the sharpened front edge on the insert itself, the high chrome insert, high chrome tube protector. Still has that nice radius to run behind a Coulter. And this particular one is set up with a 3/8. This one does not have a splitter at the bottom, so what we have done is we have cross drilled the tube
Gotcha.
so that you can so that the anhydrous or the liquid
The
is
fertilizer
able
come
to
out
come
the
out the
sides.
sides.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Very good. Well, that wraps up our Fertilizer Coulter knives. Obviously, these are a few variations, and if you have a need that we did not go over here, please feel free to give us a call, and we'll try to help you out the best we can. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.